'Cause it's all in my head. I would not take Mendoza one. I might draft Ty Simpson. And it hurts so bad. Yeah. Shout out Nelly though. If you know, you know. But what's going on, y'all? If you tuned in for the first time, I thank you so much. If you already subscribed up, I thank you so much as well. But CBS Sports has dropped their top five teams where they think Ty Simpson can go this year. My landing spot for Simpson this year is the Steelers. Yes, I already know they got Will Howard. He could learn behind Aaron Rodgers. You know, wait a year. If Aaron Rodgers returns, we don't know. Will Howard might have the job already. But that should be something to see there. Drop your teams of where you think Ty Simpson can go in this year's draft. But I wouldn't, if I'm the Raiders, I wouldn't take Ty Simpson. You know, that was just a little jokey joke. But I wouldn't draft uh Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza with the number one pick. I trade out of it and boost up my defense with Ruben Bain. I mean, I feel like that's just a Hall of Famer in the waiting right there. Just pitbull mentality, just a motor like no other. He has the best bend in NFL history. They're saying his bend is like nobody else's in NFL history. So that's who I would go with if I was the Raiders. So, but they have the landing spots in this year's college football, or not college football, in the NFL draft this year. They got Drew Aller, Nussmeier, Haynes King. Haynes King can't really throw the ball though, so that might be if he would there. We might see him in the UFL soon or something like that. Might be a UFL legend or something like that. We don't know. But hopefully he can, become a career backup or something like that, like a Chase Daniel. But yeah, Nussmeier, he didn't really have a great shot with Brian Kelly at LSU. They were saying at his pro day. I saw his pro day too. He was looking nice, but it's through air and his combine in his NFL combine, he was looking good. So I know with Brian Kelly, he didn't really get the shots he wanted to. They were throwing a lot of screen passes, a lot of little short passes with their offensive coordinator. It was tough to watch LSU football last year. And Barry Brown, hopefully he can become a wide receiver in the NFL this year. So I'm hoping they can. LSU, they got some big hopes for them this year. And then Bama with the SEC has a lot of new starting quarterbacks this year. Never started, and a lot of new head coaches too. So we'll get into this video. Go ahead and push those buttons. Not mine. I mean, my buttons, but like not my buttons. You know. Come on, play my
Let's turn your
video.
attention to the NFL draft, just 15 days away in Pittsburgh. There's no question Fernando Mendoza is the top quarterback in the class, followed by some questions. Maybe for some, Alabama's Ty Simpson. He believes he left it all out at Alabama's pro day last month. The quarterback electing to work out in front of scouts for a second time. He did throwing and some drills at February's combine. The quarterback prospect wanted to leave no doubt.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I'm not like Pat. Sorry for pausing the video, but Pat McAfee and Dan Orlovsky, they had a little beef. And Orlovsky was like, "Hey, I got Ty Simpson over Fernando Mendoza." That's kind of where all this started from. Or I wasn't really sold in Fernando either. I feel like he plays like a taller Diego Pavia in a way. He's not as fast as Diego, but his playing style, like how he runs, could get him hurt in the NFL. In NFL, a lot of linebackers are as fast as him, so they could tackle him easily. And how he runs is you become a runner. You're not a quarterback when you step out that pocket. So it could hurt him, or he needs to work on his sliding a little bit. I know he was fighting for that championship. It was a meaningful game. How he dived in there. But yeah, I think he's like a taller Diego Pavia in a way. So
About his status as a first-round prospect. He said, "It's not up to me, quote,
so
I just
I'm
know
not
that
sold on
wherever I
Fernando.
go, I'm going to give it my all and make sure I put my best foot forward." Here's the foot he put forward in the 2025 season as you take a look at those position vitals according to R. Emery Hunt. Overall, about 70% in most of those statistical categories. Emery notes his passing and throwing mechanics are consistent in his draft guide, but struggles against the pressure. And also, according to Emery, you saw that big old 6 up at the top, the 6th best quarterback in the class.
Bruh, yo, y'all see this? Hold on, let me make this bigger for y'all. Y'all see this? This is absurd. This is absolutely absurd, Emery Hunt. Are you crazy? Are you? What are we doing? He has Fernando one, Tailing, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all my list after this, but he has Taylor Green two, Drew Aller three, Haynes King four, Carson Beck five, Ty Simpson six. How do you have Ty Simpson, bro? What are we doing? And then CBS Sports is a little Cole Payton. This is a name I gotta watch for. Cole Payton, huh? CBS Sports, you gotta guys should watch out for. So I'll do that. Nussmeyer four, Cade Klubnik five, and then Drew Aller six. And the number one, number two spots are kind of everybody's toss it up in the air, I guess, or you can just call it number one, you know. But I would have Ty Simpson two, Garrett Nussmeyer three. I've never watched no Cole Payton tape. I would have Garrett Nussmeyer three. I would have Taylor Green four of just because of the upside, and then I'd probably have Carson Beck five because he can probably become a day one starter for a team, and then a career backup. I think he's gonna crash and burn, like Carson Wentz a little bit. Have a bright 3 to 2 years in the NFL, and then after that, defenses are gonna figure him out and kill him. But let's see what they got.
In
Emery, you should
2026.
be
So let's
ashamed of
start
your
with the
list.
best.
My goodness,
Here's five guys that Emery
this
believes
is
are a
absurd.
better prospect than Ty Simpson. Fernando Mendoza, we talked about. Arkansas's Taylor Green. Drew Aller from Penn
Hmm.
State. Haynes King, Georgia Tech. And, of course, Carson Beck right there at number five. Obviously, our folks over at CBSSports.com.
Bro, how do you have your job, bro? Like really? CBS should have said when he handed this into CBS, they should have handed him a resignation or just
But different
his
opinions.
papers.
Let's bring in the czar of the
He
play
should have
setter
handed it
joining
in
us
his
now.
resignation letter
Emery
with
Hunt,
it.
always good to see you. When when people zig, you zag, and that's kind of the theme of these next two draft segments that we're going to get into here. But
He's
let's
trying to
keep it
draw
focused
headlines.
right here with Ty Simpson and Emery. You know where I'm starting, the elephant in the room, if you will.
Shout
This
out
is
Haley
early
though.
season, the rankings. We saw
Shout
how
out
CBS
Haley.
Sports has compiled their data. They think Ty Simpson is the number two prospect behind Fernando Mendoza. But you, as we saw, have five other quarterbacks listed ahead of Ty Simpson. So talk us through your rankings, why you think Ty Simpson is number six instead of number two.
Well, I'm big on putting an emphasis on how well you handle pressure. And if we rank those guys by how well they handle pressure, they would rank out like how I ranked them in my top six. And when you look at Ty Simpson and how he played versus pressure, everything just went crazy, went haywire. And we know the NFL is 60 minutes of pressure for 17 weeks. And you have to be able to handle pressure extremely well if you want to be able to do that. And we talk about some of the
I mean, when you don't have no run game, no pass blocking, he had it wasn't Richard Young, it was the other back, Jam Miller. Jam Miller was their pass blocking back, and he got hurt. So I mean, still you got to deal with that pressure. He's in college; he'll learn. So hopefully, he gets a year of someone to send under. Like maybe the Jets might draft him second round, third round. I would not. If I'm the Jets, do not draft him in the first. That's just a failure waiting to happen right there. Too much expectation on him. I would if he's there in the second, third. Okay, cool. If he's there late in the later in the first round, trade up and get him.
areas of
But
improvement
my team's
because
still the
of his
Steelers, so
pressure
Steelers
management.
might just be in play
Everything
for
about
him.
you love about him, his mechanics, his precision passing, all of that goes awry. He bypasses available options because I feel like he's a big game hunter. He's going to try to hit the home run when really the best play is to hit the check down, and he's streaky. And when you're talking about NFL first round picks, you can't depend on someone that's not consistent. Streakiness will get you beat, streakiness will get you fired, and until he flatlines his play, therein lies the difference between him and a Fernando Mendoza. And to be completely fair, open, and transparent, Mendoza is the only quarterback I have a first round grade on this season. So that's the one guy that has played the most consistent. I like parts of everybody else's game, but when you talk about versus pressure versus the
Drew Aller was so bad. I forgot to talk about that, but he had Drew Aller three. Like what? Drew Aller had one of the worst. Not the worst, but he got hurt. And then in the championship game, I wouldn't trust him in big games. Maybe the play calling, maybe the offense wasn't fitted for Drew Aller and what he does. He can't really run the ball. I mean, maybe he could. Maybe he can be like a Patrick Mahomes in there, and the system didn't really allow him to. but he did cost Penn State in that conference finals game or the semifinals game when he threw the pick, and he threw a couple picks against UCLA, I think it was, or one of the games where it ended with him throwing a pick. So I'm like, I thought they should have ran it back with James Franklin because it wasn't on him. I thought it was on Drew Aller and how they lost those games. But we're not here to talk about what you know Penn State and their decisions and how they might just go the same records over and over for multiple years. I can't wait for Penn State just to have the same records over and over again for what they did to James. But your Penn State fans, they gonna make
It's
you gotta
Ty
feel good
Simpson
about your
moving
decision,
moving forward.
All right,
what you
so those are
did.
kind
So
of the weaknesses
don't
that we're
talk
looking
shit.
at. Let's talk about some strengths here, Emery, because a lot of folks changed their tune almost in the offseason after learning that he was dealing with injury for really the back half of the season there. I mentioned it, he chose to do not one workout at the combine, but also worked out at his pro day too. So what improvements, what strengths were kind of the spotlight there from those two workouts?
Well, firstly, people can't keep changing the convenient thing when, oh, he was hurt. That's why he didn't play well. We just said that for Garrett Nussmeyer. Oh, he was hurt. That's why he didn't play well.
I didn't say that for Garrett, but Tyler Simpson, that's what they saying for him, and
The
he
next week he
did.
plays well. Oh, yeah, he's better healthy. Then he plays bad again, and he's hurt again. Like, you can't keep using that convenience excuse. But what I do like about Ty Simpson, earlier in the year, I love the fact that when he is, on time, the placement is perfect. You go and watch that Missouri game, you watch some of those passes he threw to these receivers. It was on time, it was where it needed to be. Yeah, some cases he got the receivers sacrificed because
See, the thing about the NFL Combine, though, and when it's through air and they look good, it's just like every time your mind gotta draw back to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was like the king of the NFL Combine, the talk of the town when it happened, throwing all these big air balls, all these balls, pause, up in the air, throwing them all high, and NFL scouts were like oohs and ahs, and then they drafted him what, two or something like that, and hasn't really panned out. So when it comes to the NFL Combine, they're throwing through air, no defense on them. I feel like they should have a 7-on-7. When the NBA Combine, I think they do a 5-on-5 scrimmage. I think they should do a 7-on-7 scrimmage when the NFL Combine comes around. That would draw more eyes too, just to see what's going on there. So I think that's an
it was
idea
great
to
to
consider,
see
Roger.
the hellacious hit. But I love how
Roger, if
he's
you're listening.
moving fast with his feet. And when I talk about his footwork and how quick it is, it's about getting to the top of your drop rather quickly. That gives you enough time in the pocket to survey the field and scan the field. And again, the passing mechanics is exactly what you want. He hit the ground running. I even liked a little bit of his toughness in that first game against Florida State. When they were getting blown out, he was the only one that felt like he wanted to continue to compete and give his team a chance, even though they were down big on the scoreboard. So I like that about him. And the big reason why he's 6 and not 10 is because it's only been 15 games. So he still has room.
But you have Drew Aller ahead of him. Like what? Bro, what did you see from Drew and Haynes King can barely throw the ball, and Ty Simpson has a bigger upside than Haynes King. I feel like Fernando and all, Ty has the biggest upside in it. Well, Taylor Green low key has the biggest upside in this draft. He just pass the ball, figure it out there. Hey, cool. But Ty, I feel like he can have the most longevity in this draft. Ty Simpson, no, Fernando Mendoza on the other hand, he might crash and burn like Carson Carson Wentz or Carson Beck.
Grow and get better moving forward. But that's why he's 6 and not number 1.
I feel like it would be breaking news on this show if you had him at number 10 as opposed to 6. We'd have a lot to talk about there. Let's get to a player comp here.
For sure.
You like Jake Browning as the comparison here, a guy who signed to the Bucs in March to serve as the backup in Tampa. We saw him have a few moments where he was good for Joe Burrow there. What are those similarities that you're seeing between Ty Simpson and Jake
Big Brownie. Oh my god. No love. No love. Um See, the thing is, I keep using Carson Wentz right now, but I would say Ty Simpson's kind of like that in a way. But he's more smarter with the ball. He's not always looking for the long ball or nothing like that. He's taking his short routes. Yeah, because he can get outside. He can move. I would say they don't pass the ball the same, but I feel like their pocket movement, Ty Simpson and Carson Wentz, is the same. So don't get on me for saying Carson Wentz so much. Like, my god, damn. Like,
forget how talented he was at
Shit.
Washington when he had those guys. I want to say what in the first college football playoff,
Or like a
he had
Joe Burrow,
32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, something
in a
like that,
sense.
crazy completion percentage. And then when he had to deal with
I don't want to
pressure
do him like
in the
Jake Browning.
postseason
My
versus, funny
goodness.
enough, Alabama, everything went to you know what. And I think that's the comparison when you look at a Ty Simpson. He's about the same size, 6'1", 205. So he's not real big. He's not real bulky. And so you're going to have to wonder if he can sustain the level of contact and physicality he's going to see at the pro level. So I think that's where my comp for Jake
Drew
Browning
Brees
comes
did
in
it. He'll be
is because
fine.
I feel like there's
He'll
a
be
lot of
fine.
similarities in the accuracy when he was on and also how he handled pressure versus the blitz.
All right, let's get into some team fits here, and we're going to start with the Los Angeles Rams, who we know MVP Matthew Stafford is the current quarterback. He's on the final year of his deal. We had the back fiasco last year, Emery, that was like, we don't know what's going to go on with Matthew Stafford, still kind of up in the air there. But in your opinion, you say to target him in the second round here. Why would Ty Simpson be a good backup, eventually a potential replacement for Matthew Stafford?
Because you're not asking him to step in right away. He gets to go to that quarterback school out there with Sean McVay, learn behind Matthew Stafford, compete with Stetson Bennett, and whoever wins that battle gets to be the heir apparent. And I feel like if you're Ty Simpson with this pedigree coming into the draft, going to a situation where you can sit, learn, develop in a great QB system helps you out long term. I think that's what he needs, which is why the Rams, I feel like, is the best, most ideal spot for Simpson.
Best, most ideal fit for Ty Simpson there, second round pick there out in LA. Let's talk about the Steelers. We're just watching and waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make up his mind yet again. Remember last year when
Aaron got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands.
and here we are. We do know the Steelers took a quarterback last year in Will Howard, a sixth-round guy. They've also got Mason Rudolph, who I feel like has been a quarterback at the Steelers for like 100 years. Safe to say they could use an upgrade if and when Aaron Rodgers decides to sign in Pittsburgh, Emery.
We can't keep waiting for the Detox album, just like we can't keep waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make up his mind. So let's just go ahead on and make a decision for him and take a quarterback in the second round in Ty Simpson. Now, I know people will say they could take him right there at 21. That's a little bit too rich for me, especially when you think.
Yeah, I was saying I would draft it from the Steelers because y'all were probably like, "Ooh, you draft him in the first round?" Yeah, no, I would not draft Ty in the first round. If I'm the Rams, okay, I would trade up and get him in the first. If I'm the Steelers, no, you can wait on him. Then see if nobody trades up for him. I feel like he could slide in the second, but he's looking for the first. You know, he might pull a Tom Brady or something. Tom Brady had to go back to his house or something. He kicked like some bricks or something like that. He broke something because he was so mad he fell into the sixth round. And there's like a interview he does. He's crying about it. That's the passion he had. You know, he knew he was more than the sixth round, and he knew his worth.
About
And
other
look where he
areas
is
where the
today.
Steelers could attack and continue to build this roster, but I would love to see the competition between Will Howard and a Ty Simpson because Will Howard comes in wanting to
Me
be the
too.
guy, spoken about that loudly, has put it into existence, has trying to manifest that as well. Ty Simpson competing there, and either way, you're getting coached by a good
Will Howard just wants to impress Pat McAfee, bro, because he called it. That's all Will Howard wants.
quarterback guru in Mike
I'm
McCarthy
playing.
and gives you a chance to compete and win long term. I think this would be an ideal spot as well because of who the head coach is and how that team is set up on both sides of the ball.
Hey, just to that point, Emery, if they do decide to take a quarterback, whether it's Ty Simpson or someone else, does that put pressure on Aaron Rodgers to make a choice? Or do you think at that point, if they've taken a quarterback, that Aaron Rodgers, we're done with that experiment in Pittsburgh?
If they take him in the first round, that tells you they're done with the Aaron Rodgers experiment. I think that's the right choice to make because you have your veteran right there on the roster in Mason Rudolph, who's played some good games for you during this.
When we hit the pothole, I worried we'd be
God
stranded for
damn
hours.
ads.
Your
I
life
swear to
revolve around
God.
a pothole.
Damn these
Thanks to
goddamn
Geico,
ads,
over
man.
a
Oh my
$1 an hour.
God.
It feels good to get help fast. It feels good to
My
get
bad.
In his career.
Okay, all right. So we'll
And
continue to wait for Aaron Rodgers to decide,
ads.
as we know, on his time. Let's talk about the Cardinals here, Emery. Just a weird mix of names in that quarterback room after Kyler Murray left. You've got Jacoby Brissett, who was serviceable last year.
Jacoby solid.
Garner Minshew in the offseason. Then you got the
Oh
undrafted
my
free
God,
agent
Haley.
in
Like,
Braden Slovic. So obviously
Jesus,
it's a strange
Haley.
situation here.
Can't.
And you're taking almost a strange approach,
Crazy.
trading back into the first round to get
Crazy
Ty
work.
Simpson. Talk us through it.
Yeah, because you don't want to take him at 3. You take a great position player at 3, trade back into the first round to get him because he could be your QB in waiting, learning behind Jacoby Brissett. I think this is another great situation for Ty Simpson to go into.
All right, let's move on to the Jets. They've got Geno Smith as their QB of the future. Aaron Glenn believes in him. We'll wait and see kind of how that pans out there. But what do you think about Ty Simpson?
Jets.
Because the Jets have, I feel like, the first pick in the second round, this is why the Cardinals would have to go back into the first round to get Ty Simpson. Because if he's there at pick 33, the Jets have to take him because it's a second round contract. You have your quarterback in waiting in Ty Simpson to compete with Brady Cook. And now you can feel confident going into the season with a quarterback of the future, Geno Smith, a veteran, and a guy in Brady Cook that has started games for you on the back end. I like that quarterback room if that was the case.
Okay, we'll just ignore the fact that Geno spent most of last year leading the league in interceptions. The Jets.
Haley, why you pick this job? Like, you should be doing movies or something, bro. Like, she got like a movie like straight actor.
Have 2 second-round picks.
Sorry.
At it. Emery,
But
let's
if you love sports,
about the Lions.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying she can be in some movies though.
Kind of feels like an easy plug and play there.
And Teddy Bridgewater might end up coaching, might end up playing, might end up coaching, might end up playing. Like, at the end of the day, who knows, right?
Shout out Teddy Bridgewater. What he doing?
Helter-skelter nature of Teddy Bridgewater and what he has done the last couple of seasons. Why not get a quarterback to groom for the future? They had Hendon Hooker. They traded him off. Now you bring in another rookie in Ty Simpson to learn behind Jared Goff.
I almost want Teddy Bridgewater to change his mind again, like just so we could talk about it one more time. Emery, I appreciate your time. Hang tight.
Nah, I'm tired of the Teddy Bridgewater. No, shout out him for helping the kids and everything. We don't need to talk about another Teddy Bridgewater storyline unless they gonna start him in Detroit. You going nowhere with Jared Goff, honestly. If you've had 4 to 5 years, or how long he's been there, about 4 to 5 years now, and it's like you have Hendon Hooker. I know Hendon Hooker probably hasn't shown. They know what's going on behind the scenes, so I would just give somebody else a shot, draft a quarterback. Maybe they draft Nussmeier this year. You never know. Detroit, they could be definitely looking into next year's 2027 class. And Stockton does not get a lot of love for next year's class. It's a lot of sellers talk, a lot of DJ Lagway, and a lot of quarterbacks. But Stockton has been performing for Georgia for 2 years now, and it's been consistent. So I would look into Stockton and just how he plays the game. His mentality is great. I think he knows how he's going to get you to wins. That's what he cares about. He's like a Patrick Mahomes mentality. He's just gonna whatever it takes to win. So let me know what y'all landed spots for Ty Simpson this year. It was a team they didn't mention. Maybe it could be Detroit. Detroit could look for him. So